Hujambo, habari gani? Fuaha saba siku, fuaha saba siku, fuaha saba siku. Happy seventh day. Reading from the book of life, that which other people call the Bible, but it doesn't call itself the Bible because it's the book of life, 7 times Revelations. Now, we're reading from Numbers, the fourth book of Moses, chapter 11. Now, when the people complained, it displeased the God, for the God heard it, and his anger was aroused. So the fire of the God burned among them and consumed some in the outskirts of the camp. Then the people cried out to Moses, and Moses prayed to the God. The fire was quenched. So he called the name of the place Taberah, because the fire of the God had burned among them. Now the mixed multitude who were among them yielded to intense craving. So the children of Israel also wept again and said, who will give us meat to eat? Now keep that in mind, that chapter 11, verse 4, Numbers, fourth book of Moses. Who will give us meat to eat? What you talking about? Meat is not a diet. They was craving. That's why cattle was, born. Now, we remember the fish which we ate freely in Egypt, the cucumbers, the melons, the leek, the onions, and the garlic. But now our whole being is dried up. There is nothing at all except this manna before our eyes. Now the manna was like coriander seed, and its color like the color of bidalium. The people went about and gathered it, ground it in on millstones, or beat it in the mortar, cooked it in pans, and made cakes of it. And its taste was like the taste of pastry prepared with oil. And when the dew fell on the camp in the night, the manna fell on it. Then Moses heard the people weeping throughout their families, everyone at the door of his tent, and the anger of the God was greatly aroused. Moses also was displeased. So Moses said to the God, why have you afflicted your servant? And why have I not found favor in your sight that you have laid the burden of all these people on me? Did I conceive all these people? Did I beget them? That you should say to me, carry them in your bosom as a guardian carries a nursing child to the land which you swore to their fathers. Where am I to get meat to give to all these people? For they weep all over me, saying, give us meat that we may eat. I am not able to bear all these people alone, because the burden is too heavy for me. If you treat me like this, please kill me here and now, if I have found favor in your sight, and do not let me see my wretchedness. So the God said to Moses, gather to me 70 men of the elders of Israel, whom you know to be the elders of the people and officers over them. Bring them to the tabernacle meeting, that they may stand there with you. Then I will come down and talk with you there. I will take of the spirit that is upon you, and will put the same upon them, and they shall bear the burden of the people with you, that you may not bear it yourself alone. That you shall say to the people, consecrate yourselves for tomorrow, and ye shall eat meat. For you have wept in the hearing of the God, saying, who will give us meat to eat? For it was well with us in Egypt. Therefore the God will give you meat, and ye shall eat. Ye shall eat not 1 day, nor 2 days, nor 5 days, nor 10 days, nor 20 days, but for a whole month, until it comes out of your nostrils and becomes loathsome to you, because you have despised the God who is among you, and have wept before him, saying, why did we ever come up out of Egypt? And Moses said, the people whom I am among are 600,000 men on foot. Yet you have said, I will give them meat, that they may eat for a whole month. Shall flocks and herds be slaughtered for them, to provide enough for them? Or shall all the fish of the sea be gathered together for them, to provide enough for them? And the God said to Moses, has the God's arm been shortened? Now you shall see whether what I say will happen to you or not. So Moses went out and told the people the words of the God, and he gathered the 70 men of the elders of the people and placed them around the tabernacle. Then the God came down in the cloud and spoke to him, and took of the spirit that was upon him, and placed the same upon the 70 elders And it happened when the Spirit rested upon them, that they prophesied, although they never did so again. But 2 men had remained in the camp. The name of one was Eldad, and the name of the other Medad. And the Spirit rested upon them. Now they were among those listed, but who had not gone out to the tabernacle, yet they prophesied in the camp. And the young one ran and told Moses and said, Eldad and Medad are prophesied in the camp. So Joshua the son of Nun, Moses' assistant, one of his choice men, answered and said, Moses, my Lord, forbid them. And Moses said to him, Are you zealous for my sake? Oh, that all the God's people were prophets, and that the God would put his spirit upon them. And Moses returned to the camp, both he and the elders of Israel. Now wind went out from the God, and it brought quails from the sea and left them fluttering near the camp, about a day's journey on this side and about a day's journey on the other side, all around the camp, and about 2 cubits above the surface of the ground. And the people stayed up all that night, and all the next day, and gathered the quail. He who gathered at least gathered 10 homers, and they spread them out for themselves all around the camp. But while the meat was still between their teeth, before it was chewed, the wrath of the God was aroused against the people, and the God struck the people with a very great plague. So he called the name of that place Kibroth Hattaavah, Hattaavah, because there they buried the people who had yielded to craving. From Kibroth Hattaavah, the people moved to Hazeroth and camped at Hazeroth. Chapter 12. Then Miriam and Aaron spoke against Moses because of the Ethiopian woman whom he had married, for he had married an Ethiopian woman. So they said, remember now, Ethiopian woman, this is in the beginning of the book. We already talking about Ethiopia. Yeah, remember that. Ethiopia. So they said, Has the God indeed spoken only through Moses? Has he not spoken through us also? And the God heard it. Now the man, Moses, was very humble, more than all men who were on the face of the earth. Suddenly the God said to Moses, Aaron, and Miriam, Come out, you three, to the tabernacle meeting. So the three came out. Then the God came down in the pillar of cloud and stood in the door of the tabernacle and called Aaron and Miriam, and they both went forth. Then he said, Hear now my words. If there is a prophet among you, I, the God, make myself known to him in a vision. I speak to him in a dream. Not so was my servant Moses. He is faithful in all my house. I speak with him face to face, even plainly, and not in dark sayings, and he sees the form of the God. Why then were you not afraid to speak against my servant Moses? So the anger of the God was aroused against him, and he departed. And when the cloud departed from above the tabernacle, suddenly Miriam became leprous, as white as snow. Then Aaron turned towards Miriam, and there she was, a leper. So Aaron said to Moses, Oh, my Lord, please do not lay this sin on us, in which we have done foolishly and in which we have sinned. Please do not let her be as one dead whose flesh is half consumed when he comes out of his mother's womb. So Moses cried out to thee, God, saying, Please heal her, O God, I pray. Then the God said to Moses, If her father had but spit in her face, would she not be shamed 7 days? Let her be shut out of the camp 7 days, and afterwards she may be received again. So Miriam was shut out of the camp 7 days, and the people did not journey till Miriam was brought in again. And afterward the people moved from Hazeroth and camped in the wilderness of Paran. Chapter 13. And the God spoke to Moses, saying, Send men to spy out the land of Canaan, which I am giving to the children of Israel. From each family of their fathers you shall send a man, every one a leader among them. So Moses sent them from the wilderness of Paran, according to the command of the God, all of them men who were heads of the children of Israel. Now these were their names from the family of Reuben, Shamuah, the son of Zakur. From the family of Simeon, Shaphat. the son of Hori. From the family of Judah, Caleb, the son of Yehune. From the family of Issachar, Egon, the son of Joseph. From the family of Ephraim, Hosea, the son of Nun. From the family of Benjamin, Palti, the son of Rahu. From the family of Zebulun, Gadiel, the son of Sodi. From the family of Joseph, that is from the family of Manasseh, Gadi, the son of Sushi. From the family of Dan, Amiel, the son of Gemaliel. Yeah. From the family of Asher, Sehur, the son of Mishael. English Michael. From the family of Naphtali, Naphbi, the son of Voshi. From the family of God, Uel, the son of Machi. These are the names of the men whom Moses sent to spy out the land. And Moses called Hosea, the son of Nun, Joshua. Then Moses sent them to spy out the land of Canaan and said to them, go up this way into the south and go up to the mountains and see what the land is like, whether the people who dwell in it are strong or weak, few or many, whether the land they dwell in is good or bad, whether the cities they inhabit are like camps or strongholds, whether the land is rich or poor, and whether there are forests there or not. Be of good courage and bring some of the fruit of the land. Now the time was the season of the first ripe grapes. So they went up and spied of the land from the wilderness of Zin as far as Rehob, near the entrance of Hamath. And they went up through the south and came to Hebron, Ahiman, Seshai, and Talmai. The descendants of Anak were there. Now Hebron was built 7 years before Zoan in Egypt. Then they came to the valley of Eshcol, and there cut down a branch with one cluster of grapes. They carried it between two of them on a pole. They also brought some of the pomegranates and figs. The place was called the Valley of Eshcol because of the cluster which the men of Israel cut down there. And they returned from spying out the land after 40 days. Now they departed and came back to Moses and Aaron and all the congregation of the children of Israel in the wilderness of Paran at Kadesh. They brought back word to them and to all the congregation and showed them the fruit of the land. Then they told him and said, we went to the land where you sent us. It truly flows with milk and honey, and this is its fruits. Nevertheless, the people who dwell in the land are strong. The cities are fortified and very large. Moreover, we saw the descendants of Anak there. The Amalekites dwell in the land of the south. The Hittites, the Jebusites, and the Amorites dwell in the mountains, and the Canaanites dwell by the sea and along the banks of the Jordan. Then Caleb quieted the people before Moses and said, let us go up at once and take possession, for we are well able to overcome it. But the men who had gone up with him said, we are not able to go up against the people, for they are stronger than we. And they gave the children of Israel bad report of the land which they had spied out, saying, the land through which we have gone as spies is a land that devours its inhabitants, and all the people whom we saw in are men of great stature. There we saw the giants. The descendants of Anak came from the giants, and we were like grasshoppers in our own sight, and so we were in their sight. Chapter 14. So all the congregation lifted up their voices and cried, and the people wept that night. And all the children of Israel complained against Moses and Aaron, and the whole congregation said to them, if only we had died in the land of Egypt, or if only we had died in this wilderness. Why has the God brought us to this land to fall by the sword, that our wives and children should become victims? Would it not be better for us to return to Egypt? So they said to one another, let us select a leader and return to Egypt. Then Moses and Aaron fell on their faces before all the assembly of the congregation of the children of Israel. But Joshua the son of Nun and Caleb the son of Yehunneh, who were among those who had spied out the land, tore their clothes, and they spoke to all the congregation of the children of Israel, saying, the land we passed through to spy out is an exceedingly good land. If the God delights in us, then he will bring us into this land and give it to us, a land which flows with milk and honey. Only do not rebel against the God, nor fear the people of the land, for they are our bread. Their protection has departed from them, and the God is with us. Do not fear them. And all the congregation said to stone them with stones. Now the glory of the God appeared in the tabernacle of meeting before all the children of Israel. Then the God said to Moses, how long will these people reject me? And how long will they not believe me? With all the signs which I have performed amongst them, I will strike them with the pestilence and disinherit them. And I will make of you a nation greater and mightier than they. And Moses said to the God, then the Egyptians will hear, for by your might you brought these people up from among them. And they will tell it to the inhabitants of the land. They have heard that you, God, are among these people, that you, God, are seen face to face, and your cloud stands above them, and you go before them in a pillar of cloud by day and in a pillar of fire by night. Now if you kill these people as one man, then the nations which have heard of your fame will speak, saying, because the God was not able to bring this people to the land which he swore to give them, therefore he killed them in the wilderness. And now I pray, let the power of my God be great, just as you have spoken, saying, the God is long suffering and abundant in mercy, forgiving iniquity and transgression, but he by no means clears the guilty, visiting the iniquities of the fathers on the children to the third and fourth generation. Pardon the iniquity of this people, I pray, according to the greatness of your mercy, just as you have forgiven this people from Egypt even until now. Then the God said, I have pardoned according to your word. But truly as I live, all the earth shall be filled with the glory of the God. Because all these men who have seen my glory and the signs that I did in Egypt and in the wilderness, and have put me to the test now these 10 times, and have not heeded my voice, they certainly shall not see the land of which I swore to their fathers, nor shall any of those who rejected me see it. But my servant Caleb, because he has a different spirit in him and has followed me fully, I will bring into the land where he went, and his descendants shall inherit it. Now the Amalekites and the Kamanites and the Canaanites dwell in their valley. Tomorrow turn and move out into the wilderness by way of the Red Sea. And the God spoke to Moses and Aaron, saying, how long shall I bear with this evil congregation who complain against me? I have heard the complaints which the children of Israel make against me. Say to them, as I live, says the God, just as you have spoken in my hearing, so I will do to you. The carcass of you who have complained against me shall fall in this wilderness. All of you who were numbered according to your entire number from 20 years old and above, except for Caleb, the son of Yehunneh, and Joshua, the son of Nun. You shall by no means enter the land which I swore I will make you dwell in. But your little ones, whom you said will be victims, I will bring in, and they shall know the land which you have despised. But as for you, your carcasses shall fall in this wilderness, and your sons shall be shepherds in the wilderness 40 years, and bear the brunt of your infidelity until your carcasses are consumed in the wilderness. According to the number of the days in which you spy out the land, 40 days. For each day you shall bear your guilt 1 year, namely 40 years, and you shall know my rejection. I, the God, have spoken this. I will surely do so to all this evil congregation who are gathered together against me. In this wilderness they shall be consumed, and there they shall die. Now the men whom Moses sent to spy out the land, who returned and made all the congregation complain against him by bringing a bad report of the land, those very men who brought the evil report about the land died by the plague before the God. But Joshua the son of Nun and Caleb the son of Yehunneh remained alive of the men who went to spy the land. Then Moses told these words to all the children of Israel, and the people mourned greatly. And they rose early in the morning and went up to the top of the mountain, saying, here we are, and we will go up to the place which the God has promised, for we have sinned. And Moses said, why do you transgress the command of the Lord God? For this will not succeed. Do not go up, lest you be defeated by your enemies. For the God is not among you. Whoa, why can I believe that? For the Amalekites and the Canaanites are there before you, and you shall fall by the sword, because you have turned away from the God. The God will not be with you, but they presume to go up to the mountaintop. Nevertheless, neither the ark of the covenant of the God nor Moses departed from the camp. Then the Amalekites and the Canaanites who dwelt in that mountain came down and attacked them and drove them back as far as Hormah. Okay. And the God spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, say to them, when you have come into the land you are to inhabit, which I'm giving to you, and you make an offering by fire to the God, a burnt offering or a sacrifice to fulfill a vow, or as a freewill offering, or in your appointed feast to make a sweet aroma to the God from the herd or the flock, then then he who presents his offering to the God shall bring a grain offering of 1/10 of an eighth of fine flour mixed with 1/4 of a hin of oil and 1/4 of a hin of wine as a drink offering. You shall prepare with the burnt offering or the sacrifice for each lamb. Or for a ram you shall prepare as a grain offering 2/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with 1/3 of a hin of oil. And as a drink offering you shall offer 1/3 of a hin of wine as a sweet aroma to the God. And when you prepare a young bull as a burnt offering, or as a sacrifice to fulfill a vow, or as a peace offering to the God, then shall be offered with the young bull a grain offering of 3/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with half a hin of oil. And you shall bring as the drink offering half a hin of wine as an offering made by fire, a sweet aroma to the God. Thus it shall be done for each young bull, for each ram, or for each lamb or young goat, according to the number that you prepare. So you shall do with everyone according to their number. All who are native born shall do these things in this manner, in presenting an offering made by fire, a sweet aroma to the God. And if a stranger dwells with you, or whoever is among you throughout your generations, and will present an offering made by fire, a sweet aroma to the God, just as you do, so shall he do. One ordinance shall be for you of the assembly, and for the stranger who dwells with you, and ordinance forever throughout your generations. As you are, so shall the stranger be before the God. One law and one custom shall be for you and for the stranger who dwell with you. Again, the God spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, and say to them, When you come into the land to which I bring you, then it will be, when you eat of the bread of the land, that you shall offer up a heave offering to the God. You shall offer up a cake of the first of your ground meal as a heave offering, of the threshing floor, so shall you offer it up. For the first of your ground meal you shall give to the God a heave offering throughout your generations. If you sin unintentionally and do not observe all these commandments which the God has spoken to Moses, all that the God has commanded you by the hand of Moses from the day the God gave commandment and onward throughout your generations, then it will be, if it is unintentionally committed without the knowledge of the general congregation, that the whole congregation shall offer one young bull as a burnt offering and a sweet aroma to the God, with its grain offering and its drink offering according to the ordinance, and 1 kid of the goats as a sin offering. So the priest shall make atonement for the whole congregation of the children of Israel, and it shall be forgiven them, for it was unintentional. They shall bear their offering, they shall bring their offering an offering made by fire to the God, and their sin offering before the God for their unintended sin. It shall be forgiven the whole congregation of the children of Israel and the stranger who dwells among them, because all the children did it unintentionally. And if a person sins unintentionally, then he shall bring a female goat in his first year as a sin offering. So the priest shall make an atonement for the person who sins unintentionally. Then when he sins unintentionally before the God, to make atonement for him, and it shall be forgiven him. You shall have one law for him who sins unintentionally, for him who is native born among the children of Israel, for the stranger who dwells among them. But the person who does anything presumptuously, whether he is native born or a stranger, that one brings reproach on the God, and he shall be cut off from among his people, because he has despised the word of the God and has broken his commandment. That person shall be completely cut off. His guilt shall be upon him. Now, while the children of Israel were in the wilderness, they found a man gathering sticks on the Sabbath day. And those who found him gathering sticks brought him to Moses and Aaron, to all the congregation. They put him under guard, because it had not been explained what should be done to him. Then the God said to Moses, the man must surely be put to death. All the congregation shall stone him with stones outside the camp. So as the God commanded Moses, all the congregation brought him outside the camp and stoned him with stones, and he died. Again, the God spoke to Moses, saying, speak to the children of Israel, tell them to make tassels on the corners of the garments throughout their generation, and to put a blue thread in the tassels of the corners. And you shall have the tassels, that you may look upon it and remember all the commandments of the God, and do them, and that you may not follow the harlotry to which your own heart and your own eyes are inclined, and that you may remember and do all my commandments, and be holy, for your God. I am the God, your God, who brought you out of the land of Asia, to be your God. I am the God, your God. Well, I want to thank you for once again watching this, and I want to thank him most importantly for allowing me the opportunity, because as like I always say, you know, when I'm reading this, it be like I be learning new stuff for myself. Anyhow, asante sana. Mimi nikipenda na wewe, moja kupenda. Puraha, sabe siku.